Welcome to the motherfucking Wild Feminine Way podcast. I didn't even realize I called this the mother wound. Duh. Today we're going to talk about the mother wound and abundance. Let's just take a deep breath in and land into our body, land into this present moment. Place a hand on your heart, hand on your belly, or your womb. Oh, and then release, let it out, shake it out. Hello. All right, so we're going to talk about the mother wound and abundance. Hi, beautiful Ariane. I might have to grab my glasses. Okay. Hello. So, my energy is a little bit scattered today because my period's about to start and I'm sleepy. But I felt really, really strongly, I'm trying to get a good angle, that we had to come on and talk about this today. So, I have a few different categories of what I'm going to talk about. And I have my notes in front of me so that I can stay on track. I don't know why I feel this surge of nervousness talking about this topic. I guess because it's vulnerable and it just feels like there's a lot of energy behind it right now. But my beautiful friend Ariane, who is on here, I actually just had a somatic session with her yesterday. I forget if it's a somatic healing session or exactly what it's called. Please correct me in the comments below. But it was super powerful. She helped me shift and release so much stuff. And if you listen to the podcast, I have music on in the background, but it's distracting me, so I'm turning it down. If you listen to my podcast episode earlier this week, I was talking about the mess, the shift, and the invitation. I was sharing about different things that are coming up right now. Many of us are going through, I'm jumping all over the place, but it'll make sense, I promise. Many of us are going through chaotic, messy, and challenging times. And really, 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 really big ancestral cycles are clearing and ending right now. So if you feel particularly chaotic around abundance, and this can be money, love, anything, there's probably an invitation coming up for you to be cleared. Now, there's a few cards that I wanted to read. I'm going to hop into a little reading that I did for you first. I'm going to talk a little bit more about healing the mother line. And then I have a channel message from Goddess Persephone and a channel message and ritual from Mother Gaia for you. And I'm going to try to make this around 11 minutes like I have been. So when I was at the crystal shop the other day, I have it typed up in front of me because the picture's on my phone. I pulled the card that said endurance, ancestral healing, clear vision, and transformation. So this to me feels like a story. Many of us have been through challenging times or currently going through challenging times, and we are going to get through it because we are clearing out these big cycles. But you have got to keep the clear vision and the faith of what you want and hold that vision so that you can get to the transformation. And then I actually pulled these two cards yesterday. I was going to share yesterday, but I was too exhausted after my session yesterday. Ariane says it's a somatic coaching session. Okay, perfect. So we have the Pope Joan Pontiff of Possibilities. The possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless. I feel like we just got this one the other day. And we have Lalita, the Red Goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. So we can fucking have anything that we want. But right now we're being asked to not only clear out these heavy ancestral cycles, wounds, but we also need to play more and have more fun and embrace and nurture our inner child. So my specific story and example that I want to share about the mother line, I'll share one thing first. If we have felt neglected from our mothers, all of them are doing the best we can. We're all humans. We're all doing the best that we can. But many of us have mother wounds because we didn't feel loved. We didn't feel like we got what we wanted as a kid or what we needed. And this is one of the big things I cleared with Ariane in the somatic coaching session yesterday. And so I had so many epiphanies and awarenesses that I didn't even know about. I also had some that I hadn't thought about in a long time. And it gave me the opportunity to bring things up that really needed to be released. And I think I said this to her on the session yesterday. And I don't know if I said it yesterday or if I was thinking about it last night or this morning. But I realized my inner child has never really felt loved from my mother my entire life, and I'm 37. Now, I know the adult Jess knows that my mom loves me, but my parents have different love languages than me, and my mother isn't an emotional person. This is not to judge her. I love her so much. But she's not an emotional person. Her love language is not words of affirmations. That's my top one. So a lot of I felt like I had a lot of love withheld in my childhood and throughout my life, and a lot of support withheld from me over the years with my mother. And it just made everything make so much sense, because with this mother wound, if we feel uncomfortable receiving, it could be because we're not used to receiving from our own mother. So how can we receive more abundance and love and abundance in every form in our life if we've never felt like we've received that? So then we feel unsafe receiving the love and abundance we've been praying for because it feels uncomfortable. And I've manifested abundance and lost everything, as I've shared on the podcast before, and have been rebuilding. But it makes so much sense. I'm like, no wonder a part of me couldn't hang on to it, because I didn't feel safe. It felt foreign to me. And also, these patterns can play out where you feel like you're going through chaotic things, or your finances look chaotic, or whatever area of life looks chaotic, because you are here to be the cycle breaker for your ancestors. And I'm getting chills everywhere. A friend of mine, I was doing readings with her earlier this year. Let me just take a sip of water. And she introduced me more to working with our ancestors and working with the body. And she gave me a message that because I've had stuff play out again with money this year, even though I've had the best year in business that I've had in 4 years, as I've been sharing, I've been going through all this financial stuff too. And my friend said to me, basically, you have to play all this out so that you can end it all, so that you can end the cycles, and also so that when you get the money again, you don't lose it again. So these things that were passed on from our ancestors, they get stored in our bodies. And that's why working with somatics, doing somatic work, is so powerful and so helpful and so important, and will change your life. So I'm not a somatic coach, but my friend Ariane is. I was going to shout you out anyway, but you happened to be on, so that was even better. But in my Divine Feminine Rebirth course, I do teach a lot of different processes and rituals that you can do working with somatics, so that you can start clearing these things out. And yeah, I was like, I feel like my guides are good onto the ritual, because there's so much more that I could say about this, but I'm going to be talking more about these things in upcoming programs. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me know if all that made sense so far, since I do have you on here with me live. Let me know if anyone has any questions. So the message that I got from Goddess Persephone, I'm not sharing all of it because a lot of it felt like it was personal for me, but I did feel guided to share a portion of it with you listening to this, because if you were drawn to this message about mother wound and abundance, then this message is likely going to resonate with you as well. This makes me want to put my hand on my heart and just give yourself a little hug, because the key with doing this deep work, this healing work, is our inner children, what's the plural form, need to feel safe. So that's why, again, this is so important, the play. So connecting with your inner child, asking what they need. So from Goddess Persephone, the message is, we are so sorry for all the sweet sorrow you have been through in your lifetime. It won't always be this way. You will have love with your partner, with friends, and with your own type of family that adores you. You will have everything your heart desires, and it is all there for a reason, your desires. Just because you were handed a brutal past doesn't mean it gets to control your future. Not anymore. You have acted differently. You have chosen differently. You are different. And you can trust that. Please trust that, sweet queen. You deserve to have all you have ever dreamed of and longed for. And of course, if you're not manifesting love with a romantic partner like I am, just insert whatever it is that you're manifesting. Like I was saying, abundance applies to all forms of abundance. So when I got that message from Goddess Persephone this morning, it just felt so healing, and just this beautiful hug, comforting energy. And I just really wanted to share it with you. And now I'm going to move on to the last thing, which is the ritual with Gaia, Mother Earth, and also the message that she gave in. Let me just take one sip of water. Ariane said, yes, it makes sense. Okay, yay. I'm so glad your Pisces energy is on here with me, because I was doing my gangster rap dance before this and I was super pumped up and my energy felt all over, but I feel like your Pisces energy is helping me ground. Okay. Oh, I was like, what does this message mean? So I'm going to start out with a channel message from Gaia. The whole thing is a channel message, but the end part, which I will tell you, is the ritual that you can do if you want to release some of these things from your body. So she was speaking about my mother, and I feel like this applies to all mothers. This can also apply to your fathers as well. But today it felt really important to talk about the mother wound, especially because I feel like, as I've been talking about forever, we are healing like our divine feminine energy right now. And this is coming into balance on the earth. And the mother wound is the feminine energy. It's the receiving, all the things we've been talking about. So if we want to receive more, it's so important that we do this work. Okay, so this first part from Gaia, like I said, was about my mom. But again, this can apply to all parents. And again, no judgment. We're all doing the best we can. So Gaia said she was also withheld lots of love and affection and help and money and support. So like my mom also was not given all of those things. She said, forgive her when you feel ready. It's okay. Please be mad and use that sacred rage as you need to. Don't be afraid. We know you love both of your parents. This feels so scary to talk about. I don't know why. Probably because my dad follows me on social media, but this is again from no judgment. I love them unconditionally, but it just felt like other people needed to hear this message. So I want to speak before I give you the ritual on where it says forgive her when you feel ready. I already have forgiven my mom and anyone in my life who's ever hurt me instantly. Like, it's instant forgiveness because that's how my heart is. Maybe not all the time, but I'll eventually get there within the day or so. Maybe not when I was younger. Anyway, but it's like sometimes I would suppress my anger because that's one of the feelings that we societally, if that's a word, are taught to be afraid of. That's why it's called sacred rage, because it is sacred. We have to give ourselves permission to feel all of that. Otherwise, all these emotions get stuck in our body. So, the ritual from Gaia, she told me, this has got to come out of your body. Say what you need to say. So the ritual is to speak out loud, not to necessarily the person, unless you feel like you need to have that conversation, but to just energetically speak it. This is not making sense how I'm explaining it. For example, I sat and had this conversation with my mom energetically. She was not in the room with me. And I said everything that I wish I could say to her, which I would never tell her because it's just what I needed to get out. And I would never put that rage on her. And we're not sending it to her energetically. It's all a sacred space of love and unconditional love, but also expressing what you need to express. And this is coming through to share. My goddess book, I was going to grab it, but it's like too far down, close to the floor. What's it called? I talk about it all the time. You're a Goddess by Sophie Bashford. It's like my goddess Bible. Last weekend, I was reading, I think it was in the chapter about Goddess Kali, something about sacred rage, and how the woman who wrote the book was working with her therapist, doing mother healing actually. And actually they were doing the same thing where she was speaking to her therapist, saying as if her therapist was her mother, saying what she wanted to say to her, needed to say to her. And in the book she says, I fucking hate you. Which I just feel like even saying that out loud, it's like, woo, like that's a lot. But it's like, again, this is not from a place of directing that energy to anybody. This is from a place of unconditional love, but just embracing that sacred rage so that you can get it out of your body. So there might be all kinds of things that you need to say. There were all kinds of things that came out of my mouth, all kinds of fucks and cussing and everything. And I cried so much. That was the somatic release repart. I don't know what a repart is. And it was so powerful. So, I really hope this helped you today. I love you so much. Let me know below if it resonates with you. Thank you, beautiful Ariane, for staying on with me. This will be a podcast episode, so it'll be up on my Wild Feminine Way podcast. And if you're interested in diving more into this work, like I said, my Divine Feminine Rebirth program is here for you. And if you're an entrepreneur and you want to work on stepping more into your feminine energy, I'm also going to post a reel here in a little bit to talk more about this. It's basically a softer approach to business. I'm hosting a free Feminine Biz Circle on Zoom on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll just post the reel to tell you more about it. But it's essentially a way to work with feminine energetics in your business, and everything that I've done to have more sales than I have had in the last 4 years by working with my feminine energy, letting go of all the fucking rules, and lots more of that I'll post about in the reel. I think I already posted about it the other day too, so you can also refer to that if you're impatient, or just message me. Yeah, I have a Facebook event page with the Zoom link in it. I'm going to put the Zoom link in there after I hang this up. So reach out if you want the info, or after this, I'm going to put the link in my bio on here so that you can join us. I would love to have you. It's the work that has changed everything for me, and I'm just so passionate about this work. I actually applied for a scholarship at the Somatic Institute for Women last night. It's like a 14-month training, and it's a lot about somatics, the things we've been talking about, shadow work, sensuality. And I was filling out the application, and it took about 15 minutes to fill out, and I was just answering all these questions about like why I'm passionate about this work. And I'm like, I could go on and on and on and on about how this work has changed my motherfucking life so much and made me like the strongest person that I've ever been, and felt the best, safest, freest in my body and my emotions than I've ever felt. And then applying all these things also to business is what has changed everything for me in my business. So I just love it so much. Okay, I'm gonna hang this up now. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Love you, Ariane, and I will talk to you all later. And if you're watching the replay, do let me know how this resonated with you, what you're going through. And major ancestral cycles are clearing right now, so you're not alone. Things are progressing. Don't lose hope right before the miracle.